All right, hopefully. Oh, hopefully this is good. Oh, I need to take this off. Hey. Beautiful. Just beautiful. On my way to work, I usually I wear a hat, but the hat says the name of where I work. Like, not just the, because I work at Fleet Feet is the name, but it also says the city, and I would prefer that people don't know the exact place that I work because that's not good. So yeah. Now, K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, I have a friend on Instagram who keeps on just messaging me. It keeps on messaging me, dude, you need to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's actually so good. And I see trailers of it, and I see clips of it online, and I'm like, I would have to be so gay. This guy nearly just ran a stop sign. Good night. I would have to be so gay if I wanted to watch that. I would have to be so attracted to men if I had the desire to watch such a thing. It looks so bad. It look like the name K-pop Demon Hunters. How does that sound to you? Does that sound like something good? Does that sound like something you'd want to watch? No. K-pop Demon Hunters. I see clips of it online, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And like, maybe I should watch it so I could just like make commentary about it on the pod. But at the same time, it's just like I would rather I would rather have my soul be saved because I know as soon as I start watching that, I will instantly my soul will leave my body. So I don't think I should be watching it. I don't know. Some people like it. Some people find it freaking awesome. Some people swear by it, and I'm like, how can you find this like? And I keep on seeing this clip online. It's like a song in it. It's like, it's our time, no fears, no lies. That's who we're gonna be. We're going up, 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 up. It's like, ah, and then it also like it's this like one lady on a stage. It's this one lady on a stage, and she's like singing to a crowd. Okay, they're like doing a concert or whatever, and like it shows like some clips of like people in the crowd, and I don't know, like they look like the typical. At least this one clip I saw looks like the typical kind of person who would listen to K-pop, and I'm not gonna say how, but they just do. Um, the whole thing, and then there's like this boy band or whatever, this Korean pop boy band that shows up, and they are like in competition with these girls, and but in reality they're like actually demons or whatever. I don't know the plot. It's so dumb. I just know like enough about it because my friend has told me about it, and yeah, um, I would just like rather my soul be saved than watch it, and yeah, I just don't. I'm not gonna watch it. So that's all I had to say about that. Um, just don't watch K-pop Demon Hunters. You will die, I'm pretty sure, if you end up watching it. Yeah. Now, what are some other topics to talk about? That was the main thing I wanted to get out of this way for this episode, and I just, I wanted to like make a video today for the pod. I just didn't have like, I just wouldn't have time to make it in the morning or at night because I could have made it in the morning, but I woke up at 9, and it's like waking up at 9, and I had to go to work at 12, which is where I'm going right now. And then I get off at 7, and I usually start to like get pretty tired around 8, and sometimes like I'll go to sleep at 8 because I'm apparently an old man and I start to get tired at 8. I don't know why, but yeah, I've been getting tired really quickly, guys. I don't know what's up with that. And so I was like, okay, I'll just record a video, I guess, while I'm on my way to work. So that's what I'm doing right now. There was something. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna talk about something that I know enough about to where I can sound smart. Okay, and it's frame rates. Now, yesterday and the day before, whenever I was recording in 4K, 24 frames per second, and this is my phone I'm recording on right now. But I was recording on a Canon EOS R150 or something like that, and it records in 4K 24 frames per second, 1080p 24 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and 30 frames per second, and then the HD 720p, and I think 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, and 24 frames per second. So yeah, and the 4K quality looks good, and so I'm like recording in that. It just like you can't record it in 30 frames per second or higher. It's just 24 frames per second, which I'm fine with. And so the different frames per second, like 60 frames per second, is just like it's smooth. It looks nice, and you can like go slow mo with it, and it'll like still be smooth quality. Whereas if you try to do like slow mo with 30 frames per second, it's gonna look a bit choppy. But since like 30 frames per second already looks like pretty smooth, whenever you go to 60 frames per second and cut that in half, then it's 30 frames per second and it still looks smooth. So it will also be used for slow-mo. 24 frames per second is typically used for like movies in America or like countries that operates on and there's two kinds of like, or there's three kinds of recording qualities. There's CCAM, PAL, and NTSC or something like that. And so that's just based off of the frequency where like light is output from, like whenever you plug in like a lamp or something in America that operates on 60 hertz. And so if you were to like record the lamp in 60 frames per second, it looks normal. But if you were to record it in 50 frames per second, the way that PAL countries use it, like UK, then there's going to be like flickering. It's going to be flickering a lot. It's going to be a flickering light. Okay? It's going to look weird on video. So you would record it in either 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, or 60 frames per second. Just something like that. Whereas like in a PAL country, if you record something that operates on 50 hertz in either 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, or 24 frames per second, the same thing will happen where it'll be like flickering and it'll look weird. There's also a Cybertruck in front of me, and I hate those. Cybertrucks are so ugly. But yeah. And so America operates on NTSC, which uses the 24, 30, and 60 frames per second. So 60 frames per second is used for like slow-mo or just like smooth quality video. And then 30 frames per second is like typically used, it's like probably the most common frame rate to be used in America, I would say. It's typically what's used for shows in America, as well as like just people making videos like online, they'll record it. This is what this video is in, because I'm recording in 4K right now on my phone, and it's able to do 4K in 30 frames per second. So that's what it's recording in right now. It can also do 4K in 60 frames per second. I just didn't want it to take up too much space in my phone, so I just did it in 30 frames per second. It also records in 8K, but again, that's too much space. But it doesn't do 8K in 60 frames per second. It does 30 and 24. And 24 frames per second is typically what's used in like movies. Just because since the movies are so long and there's so many edits that needs to be made, like editing a movie would take a lot longer if they had to operate on 30 frames per second or higher. Especially like with animation, like if you're doing animation in like 30 frames per second, every second you have to animate 6 more frames than you already do. Because like, with animation, if you're animating in America, there's already 24 different images that you have to make. And if you go to like per second, if you go to 30 frames per second, that's 6 extra ones that you have to make, and then 60, that's 36 more that you have to do. So they record, they animate in 24 frames per second, and so do most, like, you see those animation YouTubers like the Odd Ones Out, Jaden Animations, Domix, the Amazing or whatever, you know, those people who do that, something else YT, they do that in 24 frames per second. You'll rarely see, I think, any animated YouTubers or animations in general. I can't think of something that would be like higher than 24 frames per second. But yeah. And then in PAL countries, so there's three kinds of like outputs or whatever. It's PAL, which is used in like some European countries and like some other countries as well. There's NTSC, which is used by America, Japan, I think South Korea, maybe North Korea, and some other ones. And then CCAM, which is used by like France and some other ones. It's the least popular. And then PAL, which operates on 50 frames per second and 25 frames per second. And 25 frames per second is used for movies and shows and all that stuff. And then 50 frames per second is just for smoother quality. So it's pretty easy to explain that. And I've recorded some videos in the past in 50 frames per second just to test it out and see how it looks. And I have like noticed how it does kind of like look flickering, like it. Yeah, I don't know. It just looks weird whenever you try and record something in 50 frames per second in America, like with lights or whatever. If you record outside, then it doesn't really do much because, you know, the sun doesn't operate on any hertz. I mean, I'm sure it does, but it'd be like very big amount of hertz, like a billion or something. I don't know. Not to where cameras could detect it. There is a camera that I've seen that records in like a trillion frames per second. Like it's something like that, a trillion or something. And it's so, like, the video's so slow to where if you were to like shoot an apple, like, and for the bullet to go through the apple and you were to record that with that camera, it would take a year for that video to finish because of how high of a frame rate it's recording in. And so because, you know, the speed of light is 299 million something, whatever. It's able to capture lights like being dispersed. So it's pretty cool. Whenever you like turn on a light switch, you can see the process in which like light bounces off of things and reflects and ends up lighting up the whole room because of how fast it's recording. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty close to work right now. I'm about probably like 5 minutes away, so these are our final moments. We're in the end game now. We're in the final hours. It's like Majora's Mask, huh? My favorite video game of all time. If y'all have not played Majora's Mask, y'all should play that. It's actually like a really good game. It's about this dude with a coconut face who wears this mask called the Majora's Mask, who is like, it's a mask that like possessed with evil spirits. And so the Skull Kid, who was just like a kid who was like being devious, he stole this mask from a Happy Mask salesman and put on the mask, and then the mask started possessing him and he started doing some bad stuff. And so he made a moon that's crashing into the earth in 3 days. And so you gotta like stop that. It's like 3 days is not that long, but then you get this ocarina that you can go back in time with 3 days into the past. And so you gotta free these 4 giants, and you know, you gotta be a quick one, freeing these 4 giants within 3 days. But like you can go back in time, so it's really like you can do multiple cycles. And yeah, I don't know why I'm talking like this, but yeah, you've got to free these giants so that they can hold up the moon, so that you can go into the moon's mouth, and then you can meet these 5 kids wearing different masks of these bosses that you beat. Well, 4 of them are wearing masks of the bosses that you beat, and then one of them is wearing the Majora's Mask, and then you talk to him, and then you fight Majora's Mask. And I don't really understand how all of it works. It's weird. It's a very odd game, but it's my favorite game, so it's pretty cool. It's for the N64. It's a pretty good game console. It's got a lot of good games. I recently actually beat Super Mario 64 on that, so it's pretty freaking cool. Mario 64, one of the one of my favorite games. I'd say one of my favorite games. Like, I don't know. I've only beaten it once, like legitimately, like beat it the right way. I have like speedrun it before, where I like do with 16 stars, and I'm sure what I'm saying isn't making sense to a lot of people. But I mean, if you're watching this video, you knew I was going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters because that's probably what the title is. So you probably kind of expected me to say some stupid stuff. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just riffing. I'm just talking. Um, but yeah, I don't even really like play video games that much anymore. I mean, I like them, but no, usually, I mean, I work. My days consist of working, and that's about it. It's fun. It's a fun time, being homeschooled. You just get a lot of time to be able to work, and as far as my plans for after school, because I'm in my senior year, and I don't plan on going to college, at least not right now. I kind of want to just go like straight to the workforce, or at least maybe like spend another year just trying to like save up, making sure I got a good. I'm like, not because I want more money, but because I want to make sure I'm like secure and stuff, So trying to save up so far in the past month, or ever since I started working at my new job, which was August 18th, I've saved $2,000, which is pretty solid. So I'm on track to like, so it's about a month and a half that I've saved that amount. And so let's think about what that would be over the course of a year. $4,000 would be 3 months. 4,000, and then 8,000, 12. So I'd be $16,000 in a year if I were to work there for a year, is what I'm thinking in my head right now. So yeah, so $16,000, because I have it set up on my like pay stub app where I can like change it to be going to different accounts. I have 90% of it going towards this savings account that has a 3.82% APY, and then I have 10% of it going to my main checking account, and I just use the 10% for like gas and food, and I don't know. Usually not food, because like I'm still living with my parents and they pay for my food, and I told that to my coworkers because they were like, "You're spending your money like all on food." I'm like, "No, my parents like pay for that." And they're like, "Oh, what?" I can't tell if they're joking or whatever. Probably they're like, I don't know, trust fund baby or whatever. I'm like, no. I mean, did your parents never pay for your food when you were growing up? You had to like. I don't get like that's pretty normal. I don't know if the parents pay for your food typically, at least for the first 16 years of your life. That's a pretty normal thing. They were probably joking. I don't know. But yeah. Alright. I am in the parking lot of where I work. And there's a lot of old people. Well, I won't say where I am, but I'm somewhere. So, this is Christmas, and what have we done? Christmas is coming up soon. So is Halloween. I don't really care for Halloween too much anymore, but I do love me some good old Christmas. This is completely unrelated, but I made a sweet potato this morning. It was pretty good. Put some brown sugar in it, marshmallow, and butter and salt, and by golly, if it was not good, it was delicious. No. You know, I used to think like, why would you put a marshmallow in a sweet potato? That sounds disgusting. Until I tried it, and I was like, oh, like this is actually pretty good. So yeah. Well, I am here. I just gotta wait until I park to, stop the recording, because I don't really want to be stupid. Beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. This is our stop. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.